Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19. Today is Monday, 31st May, 2021. It's a pleasure on behalf of the Presidential Steering Committee to welcome you to this national briefing. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Chairman, Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19, honorable ministers here present, members of the Presidential Steering Committee, our reporters, both live and those in the remote centers across Nigeria, our esteemed listener and viewer, gentlemen of the press, we want to once again welcome you to today's national briefing. Please permit me at this point in time to invite the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Chairman, Presidential Steering Committee, Boss Mustafa, to now make his opening remarks. Welcome, sir.
Minister, medical officials that have come to give us our second dose of COVID-19 vaccine, we want to truly apologize for the late start of this national briefing. We thought we were going to start quite early so that we could get everybody vaccinated as quickly as possible, and we can run off to other activities. However, I welcome you to the national briefing by the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 for Monday, 31st May 2021. Since the last national briefing by the Presidential Steering Committee, the national response system has remained focused on a number of issues, namely testing and detection, risk communication and community engagement, infrastructure enhancement, especially oxygen capacity, finding access to vaccines and vaccination of eligible Nigerians, enhancing surveillance, especially at the points of entry, and enforcing the travel advisory and the 2021 health safety regulation. While we watch and study developments around the world, we must continue to disseminate the messages of compliance with the protocols prescribed and to get vaccinated when the opportunity arises. The philosophy is for us to keep out the virus as much as possible. India is still quite high in a number of cases, and in the last week, the numbers in Africa experienced a spike, especially in South Africa. The Presidential Steering Committee therefore appeals to all Nigerians to continue to observe the non-pharmaceutical interventions diligently. Similarly, Nigerians must eschew sentiments by ensuring that friends, relations, and associates arriving from countries of concern, and indeed all countries, obey the quarantine and post-arrival protocols. It is our duty to make sure this occurs. Pursuant to the travel advisory issued, I wish to inform you that the Presidential Steering Committee has initiated a series of sanctions against those that have violated the 2021 health safety regulations. To this end, the Presidential Steering Committee has published the names and particulars of over 200 violators that evaded the quarantine requirement. This is considered a serious infraction, and the Presidential Steering Committee would proceed to do the following: deactivate the passports of Nigerians involved for a period of not less than 1 year. 2, revoke the visas of foreigners that have abused our hospitality. And 3, prosecute violators where necessary. Nigeria will continue to monitor the unfolding events and will deal with them as applicable. Nigeria cannot afford a third wave, and thus will do everything to protect our territory. In the next couple of weeks, the Presidential Steering Committee will focus on 3 major things: increase testing, especially in states, increase oxygen reserve capacity in case there is a third wave, and increase vaccine acquisition drive. For some time now, Nigeria has been discussing with the authorities of the United Arab Emirates or the Emirates Airline on resumption of flights between the two countries. The Presidential Steering Committee will urge the Emirates Airlines and the United Arab Emirates to remove the country-specific and discriminatory practice against Nigeria. Discussions are, however, ongoing, and we can assure Nigerians that the outcome will be in the interests of the country. Some 12 weeks ago, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency commenced the administration of the AstraZeneca vaccine across the nation, with about 2 million persons vaccinated so far. We have since then intensified the creation of awareness to achieve a reduction of vaccine hesitancy and encourage all eligible persons to come out and take their second dose. Over the weekend, His Excellency, the President and the Vice President, received their second dose of AstraZeneca vaccine. Today, members of the Presidential Steering Committee will receive their second dose during this briefing. This is transparency, and this transparency is to underscore the safety and efficacy of the vaccine. So I want to commend all Nigerians that have taken their first dose to approach the medical facilities where they took their first dose, if it is within the range of 8 to 12 weeks, for them to be administered according to their batches that have been indicated on their cards to take the second doses of their vaccine. I believe that if we do that, at least having 1% of our population vaccinated will be a milestone. That is not sufficient to get us to the stage of herd immunity, but that is a step in the right direction. And as we await further supplies of vaccines from different multilateral and bilateral engagements that are ongoing, I urge Nigerians to continue to comply with the non-pharmaceutical interventions. Ensure that you wear your mask at every time and always. Keep social distancing. Avoid unnecessary travels. Avoid large congregations for whatever reason. And like I said, if you do not have to travel, make sure that you stay safe and stay at home. I wish you a very pleasant evening, and I thank you for listening. We'll proceed with the administration of the second dose of our vaccine, and I will be the first guinea pig for this exercise. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Of the Presidential Steering Committee to please step forward. You are entering camera. Thank you very much, Chairman. Can we give me a round of applause, please? The Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Honourable Minister of Environment, please. Of Information and Culture. Next, the Head Technical Secretariat, Dr. Mukhtar. Next, DG NCA. Next, WHO country rep.
Ogona, collect his card. His card first. The one with Ogona. His own so that he can stand up. You have to collect his card. Yeah, because he was on capture.
Next, Permanent Secretary, General Services Office.
Original.
Former Permanent Secretary, General Services Office. Next will be for journalists in the House. Moderator in Chief, Willie Bassey. Next, channels, Friday Okerigbe.